Despite being the third largest and one of the fastest growing markets in the world, many private airlines keep failing in India. These airlines either collapsed or were sold due to financial crunch, debt, and mismanagement. GoFirst is the latest victim of the unforgiving Indian aviation market. So let's have a look at a few airlines that flew too close to the sun and got burnt. But before that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Moneycontrol channel. Vayudut, which translates to messenger who rides on the wind, was a regional airline established in 1981 as a joint venture between the two state-owned carriers, Indian Airlines and Air India. The airline was originally conceived to serve the northeastern region of India, but low occupancy, the carrier's route and fleet structure made the operations unprofitable. Modi Luft was launched in April 1993 by Indian industrialist S.K. Modi. His strategy was to operate a private airline which benefited from strategic partnerships. German flag carrier Lufthansa was the partner of choice. The airline faced financial troubles due to intense competition in the Indian aviation market and was eventually forced to shut down in 1996. One of the first private companies to obtain an air operator permit from India's aviation regulators was East West Airlines. Headquartered in Trivandrum, it was the first national-level private airline in India to operate after almost 37 years. The company faced financial troubles due to mismanagement and was eventually shut down in 1996. Air Sahara was once a rapidly growing Indian airline with strong domestic operations and expanding international routes. The airline was almost exclusively a Boeing 737 carrier and made its inaugural flight in the late 1993. However, it faced financial troubles due to intense competition in the Indian aviation market and was eventually sold to Jet Airways in 2007. Jet Airways, one of India's largest airlines, commenced operation as an air taxi operator and became the second largest commercial passenger airline, and enjoyed a market share of 17.8% in India's aviation before it ceased its operation. The airline had been struggling with financial difficulties for several years, leading to the accumulation of debt that it was unable to repay. The airline's operations were eventually suspended in 2019 and became the first carrier to refer under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The airline has been trying to stage a comeback and was planning to launch an operations in 2023, but it has witnessed a slew of resignations in the first half of 2023, including CEO-designate Sanjeev Kapoor. But he still believes that the airline has what it takes to make a comeback.
I believe that, after all of this time that has passed, all of the discussions and negotiations that have gone on, there is hope. Promoters are confident that there is light at the end of the tunnel and they will be getting control or ownership of the airline soon, following which they can resume their startup planning.
The infamous Kingfisher airline was founded in 2005 by Vijay Mallya. The airline operated both domestic and international flights and had a fleet of Airbus A320 and ATR aircrafts. Kingfisher Airlines, which used to enjoy the second largest market share in the Indian aviation space, ceased its operation in 2012. The airline faced financial troubles due to high levels of debt and mismanagement. The airline stopped operation in 2012 and officially shut down in 2014 after it failed to repay its debt. Other than these airlines, there were smaller regional players such as Air Costa, Air Deccan and Air Carnival who had similar fate. The Indian aviation sector has seen so many airlines either go out of business or get bought after incurring heavy losses that it can be called graveyard of airlines. But why? There are few fundamental flaws that most aviation companies in India are not able to overcome, and these includes volatility in fuel prices and the dollar, fluctuation in demand, and overall low profitability. Let's break it down a little further. A major chunk of operating cost in aviation is air turbine fuel or ATF. The fuel prices makes up for half the cost of the flight tickets that you purchase. The fuel acts as the raw material for airlines. The price of this raw material tends to vary depending on several global and domestic factors. Fluctuating ATF means an instability that is built into the business. Domestically, ATF is heavily taxed by individual states in India, adding further to the woes of the airlines. Another factor is a dependency on the dollar as the currency of payment. As price of the dollar appreciates, it becomes more expensive and for airlines to manage day-to-day operations, which negatively impact the margin. And finally, airlines are not inherently a profitable business. Aviation may look glamorous, but the aviation business is tough. Airlines have huge upfront costs to buy planes and build networks. Then they compete fiercely on price, which pushes the profit margins down to a level that can't support those capital investments, especially through economic downturns when the demands for air travel dips. In case of India, a typical consumer does not purchase a flight ticket from an airline based on the quality of their service. Instead, they are looking for the cheapest way to reach their destination. This causes airlines to lower their prices in a competitive environment. GoFirst is the latest victim in the never-ending cycle of private airlines taking off fast only to crash land. Despite being a massive market, India has not been able to foster a healthy aviation market. Is it time to introspect the very nature of the aviation business and the policies around them? For more such videos, keep watching the Moneycontrol channel.